Cinnamon Bear.
Last time, Judy and Jimmy and the Cinnamon Bear met Professor Whiz, the educated owl, who told them he'd seen the Crazy Quilt Dragon go into the Wintergreen Witch's house, and what's more, he had the silver star with him. But when they entered the house, there wasn't a sign of Crazy Quilt. At one end of the room was a huge picture of a forest. At least they thought it was a picture until they discovered it was a real forest. So in they went and met Fraidy Cat, who was frightened to death of a giant. And right now, the giant is coming closer and closer.
Gee, we're in for it all right. Come on, let's hurry.
Do you think the giant can see us?
I'm not sure. He's awful big. Maybe if we keep in the underbrush, he won't.
Meow. I'm so scared. Meow. I'm so unlucky. Everything happens to me.
We're all scared, little Fraidy Cat. But we're going to try to escape the giant just the same.
We'll never be able to go faster than he does. He's coming closer and closer.
Oh, dear, what'll we do?
Oh, don't step on us, Mr. Giant, please. Look out.
Of course I won't step on you. Where are you?
We're right here under this big tree.
You mean that little bush by my knee? Here, let me see. You're way down, aren't you?
Yes, but please be careful. Don't hurt us. We haven't done anything to you.
I wouldn't think of hurting anybody. I'm Fee-Fo, the gentle giant. I am.
Whew, that's a big relief to us, I can tell you.
Just a minute till I sit down. Then I'll be closer to you. Where are you now?
Here we are. My goodness, but you're just awful big.
He sure is all right. Well, he looks as high as the city hall, doesn't he, Judy?
You don't know how glad I am to see someone who looks like me, even if you aren't the same size. I haven't seen any people but the Wintergreen Witch for ever so long. Would you be afraid if I would pick you up and look at you a little closer? My eyes are a bit weak, you know.
Well, I don't mind. Gee, it'd be lots of fun.
I think it would be, too. How about you, Cinnamon Bear?
It's all right with me. But be real careful about the way you pick me up, won't you? My extra special stuffing is awfully sensitive to high altitude. Let me hang on to your thumb.
Meow. Oh, my goodness. I forgot about Fraidy Cat.
A cat? Well, let me see it. I'm very fond of cats.
Fraidy Cat's nothing but a little kitten.
Well, that's all right. I like 'em that way. Come here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
I'm awful scared of you. Are you sure you won't hurt me?
Not for the world. Here, look. I'll put you in my coat pocket and you can look out of the buttonhole.
All right. If you'll be very careful.
There. Fraidy Cat's up. Now, how about the rest of you? Would you like to sit up on my shoulder?
You bet. Come on, Judy. Boy, isn't this something? Hey, Cinnamon Bear.
Hello? I'm coming next.
There. We're all up.
Are you all quite comfortable?
Oh, yes, thank you, Fee-Fo.
Well, that's fine. Now, suppose you tell me who you are and what you're doing in the Wintergreen Witch's magic forest.
Well, I'm Jimmy Barton, and this is my twin sister, Judy. And he's Patty Cinnamon the Cinnamon Bear. And we've come an awful long way to try to get back our silver star that was stolen by the Crazy Quilt Dragon.
Silver star?
Yes, it belongs on top of our Christmas tree. And Christmas won't be Christmas without it.
Have you seen the Crazy Quilt Dragon by any chance, Fee-Fo?
Well, no, I haven't. But that's not strange. Lots of things go on around my feet that I can't see.
You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I see a cinnamon bun on a tree over there.
Well, that's the cinnamon bun tree in the goody-goody grove. Oh, there's all kinds of good things to eat there. Chocolate eclair bushes, cream puff vines, and ice cream cone trees. Oh, just lots of things.
Gee, I just remembered that I'm awful hungry. How about you, Judy?
Me too, Jimmy. I would just love something to eat.
Well, no sooner said than done. It's just a couple of steps over there. Here, hold tight while I get up. Here we are, and here we go. Here we are. I'd better put you on the ground again. You might fall off if I bent down to pick anything for you.
You forgot all about me. Is there anything for me to eat?
Well, I didn't mean to overlook you, little fraidy cat. Here, there's a milkweed tree that has very delicious milk. I'll pick a pot of that for you.
Oh, thank you, Fifo. You're awfully good to me. And I was so scared when I first saw you.
Well, you don't have to be scared of me anymore. In fact, if you'd keep me company, I'd be very grateful. You know, I get very lonesome sometimes.
I'd like to stay with you. You wouldn't let anything hurt me, would you?
I should say not. How's the milk?
Very nice. Just the way I like
Oh,
it.
that's fine. How about the rest of you?
Oh, swell.
That's just wonderful.
Gee, this is the first time I ever got to eat all the cream puffs I wanted. Mother wouldn't let me have but one at home. She says they're too rich.
Well, eat just as many as you want. When nothing in the goody-goody grove will make you sick.
My goodness, Jimmy. You just ought to taste these chocolatey eclairs. They're so good.
Yeah. You can't beat these cinnamon buns and this honey. Notice how sweet it makes my voice sound.
Boy, that was swell. I guess I won't want any more cream puffs for a long time. Say, how'd you ever happen to be in the magic forest before?
Well, I didn't used to be here at all. I used to live out on the island of Obi like everybody else. One day I was taking a nap on the beach, and the Wintergreen Witch made me real small and put me through the picture frame in her house, and then made me big again before I woke up. Now I can't get out because I'm too large.
Isn't there any way for you to get out?
The only way would be for the Wintergreen Witch to let me out, and she won't do it.
Say, I don't want to rush you two, but remember, we're a long way from finding Crazy Quilt and the Silver Star.
I guess the best thing would be to look for him ourselves, since Fifo hasn't seen him. Yeah, he couldn't help us anyway, 'cause in one step he'd miss 1,000,000 Crazy Quilt Dragons.
Thank you ever so much, Fifo, for the elegant lunch and for helping us.
I should say so. Those cream puffs just fixed me up swell.
I don't know what I would have done without my cinnamon buns. I wouldn't have been able to be ferocious at all.
Now, before you go, there's something I want to give you. It's a whistle. Now, I can't use it because it's too small for me. I just wear it on my watch chain for a charm. Here, wait a minute till I wet my finger. I can't pick it off very good unless I do. There. Now, you just blow on it 3 times if you want me for anything, and I'll hear it and I'll come a-running.
Like this?
Is it magic?
Yes. I used to dabble a bit in it before the witch put me in the magic forest. Well, you blow it if you need me, and I'll come in a jiffy.
Well, thank you ever so much, Fifo.
You bet. Gee, you've been swell to us.
You've certainly changed our opinions of giants.
If I've done that, I am very happy. All right, come on, Fraidy Cat. Back in my pocket you go. And goodbye to all of you. Remember, I'm here to help you if you want me.
Goodbye, Fifo. Pretty nice of him to be so polite and helpful, wasn't it?
It surely was. But then, I really wasn't afraid of him when I first saw him.
Why, you old storyteller. You were too.
Certainly you were. You were scared to death, and you know it.
Well, if you won't believe me, I won't talk about it anymore.
Which way shall we go?
It's awful hard to know which way. We haven't any idea where the Crazy Quilt Dragon might have gone.
Well, he didn't know this forest any better than we did. So if we just follow our noses, we'll probably come as close to him as finding him as any other way we can do.
Well, that's silly. Just like some people say, follow your nose.
Well, not in Maybeland it isn't. Now, if you want to find somebody real bad, that's just what you do. Follow your nose, and eventually you find him.
Is that some more magic?
Well, I don't know if it's magic, but it generally works.
Well, all right. I guess we'll try it. Say, which way are our noses pointed?
That's silly, too. They're pointed straight ahead of us.
Well, then, that's the way to go.
Right through this underbrush and everything?
Yes, we get through it as much as we can.
All right. But I hope we don't get all scratched up.
Want to take my hand, Judy?
No, Jimmy. It's easier for me to go by myself because... Oh! What's happened?
It's all dark.
Dark nothing. It's pitch black.
I can't see you, Jimmy, or you, Cinnamon Bear. I can't see anything.
Grab hold of my hand, Judy, and you take this one, Cinnamon. Let's just stand right here together until it gets light again.
What do you suppose ever made it get dark so quick? Maybe it just decided to get nighttime in a hurry.
No, Judy. I think it's magic. The Wintergreen Witch probably shut off the lights.
Maybe the electric light company turned them off because she didn't pay her bill.
Well, whatever it is, I don't like it one little bit. It's dark and scary and... Oh!
Well, what's the matter, Judy? What is it?
Look, over there.
Heavenly days. 2 yellow lights like eyes a-flashing in the dark.
As Jimmy often says, gee willikers, what's going to happen next? I'd like nothing better than to know right at this very minute, but like you, I'm going to have to be patient and wait until next time.
Perched there at the front window like you were a setter and there was a covey of quail in the yard.
I'm just watching for that postman, Molly. I'm expecting some important mail.
You haven't thrown your money away on another fly-by-night scheme, have you, McGee?
Oh, I've made a small investment in my future. That's what it means. I've signed up to take a memory training course by mail.
What for?
Because big executives have got to have good memories, that's why. Being able to remember a lot of stuff is what separates the wheat from the chaff in this business world.
But you're not in the business world.
Oh, I will be as soon as I take this memory course. I'll be able to keep my finger on the pulse of so many different projects at the same time that they'll be after me to become president of the AT&T or something.
I doubt if they'll be after you to become the president of it.
Well, I don't see why not. With the excellent memory I got to start with, I ought to be a genius by the time I get through taking a memory course.
I've seen goldfish with better memories than you have, McGee. You're always forgetting to do things.
That's not true in the least, Wags. I just have so many big things on my mind that I let some of the smaller ones go.
You mean little things like putting your shoes on the wrong feet in the morning and remembering to shave?
That's right. Them things are trivialities. Anything that's really important is etched on my memory for all time to come. And speaking of coming, the postman is coming up the walk right now. I'll go meet him. I can hardly wait to get started on my course.
Ah, there goes a good kid. A mind like a sieve, but a heart made of gold.
That dead dread of memory school anyway. The first lesson still hasn't come, and I ordered that course more than 2 weeks ago.
Maybe they forgot to send it.
Molly, the Apex Memory School never forgets anything. They're just letting me cool my heels. And I don't like it one bit.
Now, there's no reason to get all worked up, McGee. It probably was just delayed in the mail for some reason.
I sent them my good money for that course. They probably figure I got such a poor memory I don't even remember ordering the thing. But they've run across one perceptive student who's not going to be a pigeon for their crooked schemes. What they didn't figure on is that I got a good memory. I just needed their course to make it a little better, that's all.
Well, fussing and fuming at me isn't going to do any good.
I know that, but I'm planning to take some action that will do some good. I'm going to write that outfit a letter that'll give them a piece of my mind.
Okay, dearie. If it'll make you feel any better, you go to it.
Well, I'm going to tell them I'm no absent-minded professor that mails them a check for $10 and then forgets all about it. Here, let me sit down here at the desk. Pencil and paper.
Now, don't write anything threatening if you're going to send it through the mail.
Oh, my gosh.
What's the matter?
Here on the desk. It's my envelope with the check in it to the memory school. I guess I forgot to mail it.
What was that big brown envelope that came for you in the morning mail, McGee?
It was my first lesson from the Apex Memory Training School. I told you I signed up for it. And believe me, kiddo, this system of theirs is great, you know.
Well, it doesn't seem to have helped you much so far.
What you mean?
You forgot to take the trash out again this morning.
I didn't forget to take it out, Molly. I'm just employing the Apex system. You remember the important stuff by dismissing the trivialities from your mind. And taking out the trash happens to be a triviality.
An awful lot of trash collectors would be thrown out of work if everybody thought that way.
Well, I don't mean that the trash don't have to be carried out by somebody. It's just not the job for a person with a great mind. That's what the Apex people say.
I don't think I'm going to like the Apex people.
Oh, they're a wonderful crowd, Molly. In fact, they're making a new man out of me. When I get the system learned, I'll remember everything I ever knew. Would you like to know how it works?
No, not particularly.
Well, it's all based on the association of ideas, you see. Everything a human being knows is associated with something else. We don't just have stray facts running around loose in our cerebriums.
Well, that's a comforting thought.
Now, for instance, you say a word, and I'll show you how I associate that word with other stuff.
All right. The word is tetraethyl.
Oh, come on, Molly. Stop skipping around. I'm serious about this.
Okay, I'll give you another word. Indian.
Well, Indian reminds me of the Battle of Tippecanoe. That, right away, reminds me of a fact I hadn't thought of in years, that it was fought on February 11th, 1811. That makes me think that it was the year before the War of 1812, and the hero of that war was Oliver Hazard Perry. Hazard makes me think of fire hazard, and when I think of fire, I think of furnace. And that reminds me that I got to fire the furnace in a few minutes. You see how it works?
I'm certainly glad that the hero of the War of 1812 wasn't Winfield Scott.
Why?
We would have gotten awfully cold before you fixed the furnace.
Molly, you're always looking for loopholes and things. Actually, this memory course is a wonderful thing. I find I'm remembering facts and dates that I thought I'd forgot all about. Give me a date, and I'll show you what I mean.
Well, let's see. April 14th.
Let's see. My process of association goes to work right away, and I can tell you that that was the date that Lincoln was shot in 1865. It was also the date that William Henry Harrison died in 1841. Try me on another one.
How about the date today?
Indiana was admitted to the Union on this date in the year 1816.
Anything else?
Now, wait a minute. Let me associate for a minute. Nope, that's it.
Sure you're not forgetting something?
Molly, with this system, I don't forget anything. If there was another event on this date, I never knew about it.
Oh, I think you knew about this one at one time.
I don't associate anything. What is it?
Today is our wedding anniversary.
Don't be silly, Molly. We were married on the... Oh, my gosh. And I didn't get you a present.
It's all right.
See, the stores are closed now. I'll tell you what I'll give you as a gift, Molly. I'll let you use my memory course after I'm through with it.
Is that you, McGee?
Molly, there's only 2 keys to this front door. You got one of them, and I got the other one. Since you're already inside the house, it stands to reason that any new arrival coming in must be me.
Well, it's just that I didn't know you'd left. Where have you been?
I went to the grocery like you told me.
How could you have done that? The grocery list I gave you is still here on the desk.
Molly, I didn't take that list on purpose. I figured this would be a good chance to try out that new memory course I'm taking. I memorized the list, and that way I didn't need to take it with me.
Oh, dear. I'll bet anything you forgot some of the items I had written down.
No, I didn't know such a thing as the kind. I just got in my mind the sentence, the red bear sits on the green table and erases the pencil marks.
You better let me take your temperature, McGee.
I'm all right. That's just the way the memory system I'm taking works. When I say, the red bear sits on the green table and erases the pencil marks, I don't mean it literally. Every word in that sentence is a key to something that I had to get at the grocery. See? Now you take the word red. You see? Here's the red cabbage you asked me to get.
It was beets I asked you to get, and not red cabbage.
Oh, gee, that's right. Beets are red, too, aren't they? I could have sworn cabbage was the only red vegetable.
What's in the package here?
Veal cutlets. The word bear reminded me of that. Now, when you think of bear, you think of bear meat. That's how I remembered the cutlet.
It was a pork roast I asked you to get.
Are you sure? When I thought of meat, I thought of veal cutlets right away.
That's because we had them for dinner last night.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that is where that idea came from. I didn't have any trouble with the word green. Here's your Brussels sprouts.
Oh, McGee, it was green beans you were supposed to get.
Well, Brussels sprouts taste almost the same. Then, of course, on the word table, I reminded myself of the 4 legs on a table, and that's how I happened to get these 4 cans of peaches.
It was 4-Star brand tomato juice I wanted.
Well, peaches got the same vitamins in them. And then the word erases, that gave me a little trouble. Then I remembered that you erase with rubber. So here's your new kitchen sponge.
Dearie, I asked you to bring back a box of rubber fruit jar rings.
Well, we need a new kitchen sponge. And then this last item, I know I got that right. That came from the word pencil. I stood there thinking of something that looked like a pencil. So I got 2 bunches of asparagus. They were on sale.
It was not asparagus you were supposed to get. It was celery.
Oh.
This memory course of yours is a complete failure. You didn't get one single item that was on the list.
Dad, right, Molly, the memory course is not at fault. It's oblivious to anybody who thinks about it that you just ordered the wrong thing. Now, let's see. Apex Memory Course, lesson number 3. The student should build self-confidence by repeating to himself, I have the memory of an elephant. Easy enough. I have the memory of an elephant. I have the memory of an elephant.
Hi, Mr.
Oh, hi there, Jean. I have the memory of an elephant.
Gee, that's a coincidence, I betcha.
Why? What's so coincidental about that?
Because my daddy says you have a waistline like an elephant, too, I betcha.
Well, now, I'll just disregard the palaver of your paternal parent, Teeny. What brings you out on such a chill morn?
Well, I came over to tell you something real important, I betcha.
Now you can't remember what it is, huh?
No, I remember.
Well, it just so happens, Teeny, that I'm taking the Apex Memory Course now, and by using the Apex System of Association, I'll show you how you can remember what you came for.
What I came for was to tell you.
Now, hold it. Just going at the problem willy-nilly like that's not going to help any. The secret lies in getting the thought processes organized properly. Now, have you got any idea what goes on inside your skull, Teeny?
You mean between my ears and under my beanie?
Well, that's the general area I was referring to.
Gosh, no. I don't know what goes on there.
Well, you got nerve endings and electrical impulsification shooting around in your brain all the time.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Every thought you got is connected to some other thought. By using the Apex system, you can hook them all together and remember everything you ever knew.
You mean every teeny tiny itsy bitsy thing I ever knew,
That's right, Teeny. Just by using the Apex system of association, I could make you remember what you had for lunch 3 weeks ago last Tuesday.
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich and cocoa.
How in the Sam Hill can you remember that?
Well, because I take a tap dancing lesson every other Tuesday, and I didn't take one last Tuesday, so I must have taken one the Tuesday before, and if I took one the Tuesday before, then I must have taken one 3 weeks ago Tuesday. And before I take one, I'll always have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and cocoa.
Oh, you do, eh? I says you do, huh?
Do what?
Always have that.
Have
A
what?
peanut butter and jelly sandwich and cocoa before you take a tap dancing lesson.
How'd you know?
Oh, Teeny, we're straying far aforward here. What I'm trying to get you to remember is what you come in here for. Now, think careful. Does it associate with any word beginning with A?
No. It begins with W.
Oh, you can remember the letter.
Mm-hmm.
See how the system works? Now try to think of the word beginning with W. Can you do that?
I sure can. It's Willie Toops.
Oh, Willie Toops.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think hard now. Well, what about Willie Toops?
Well, that's what I've been trying to tell you, mister.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Toops and I were playing cowboy and Indian, and Willie was the Indian, and he shot a flaming arrow.
Oh.
And I went up on the roof of your house, and your roof is on fire.
What?
Get with it.
That's the dead. Now, let's see. 1 is a fire plug. 2 is a bedspread. 3 is a horse.
What in the world are you talking about, McGee?
Those are just the key symbols in the Apex Memory Training course I'm taking, Molly. Now, you say, for instance, you sent me to the grocery store for a bushel of peaches and a loaf of bread. Now, for number 1, I always think of a fire plug. So, I'd get a mental picture of a bushel of peaches sitting next to a fire plug. Then for 2...
Who left them there?
Who left what where?
The bushel of peaches next to the fire plug.
Nobody left them there, Molly. I can just see them there.
Well, if you see them there, somebody must have left them.
Molly, there aren't really any peaches next to the fire plug. I just see them there. Now, for 2, I think of a bedspread. So, I see a loaf of bread lying on a bedspread.
Well, get it off of there. You'll get crumbs in the bed.
Molly, I can't get crumbs in the bed on account of because this is not a real loaf of bread.
Well, what is it?
It's the loaf of bread you asked me to get at the grocery store.
I did not ask you to get any bread at the grocery store. We have at least enough to last until tomorrow.
Look, Molly, this is hypothetical bread.
Well, I don't want it. The seeds get in my teeth.
Okay, you win. But I still say this memory course is a great thing. By using association, you can remember anything you ever knew. Right now, I'm associating to remember what our auto license number was in 1926.
McGee, do you know you have on one black shoe and one brown one?
That's entirely possible. Because when you start using this memory course, the secret lies in dismissing all irreverent stuff from your mind. And shoes are irreverent when it comes to remembering 1926 license numbers.
You haven't combed your hair this morning either.
Dismiss it. Hair has nothing to do with what I'm thinking about. 1926, that was the year of the big Florida hurricanes. I read about that in the Peoria paper. So that means we were living in Peoria at the time. We therefore had an Illinois license. Now I got to try and visualize.
Your socks don't match either.
I'm in a transom. I can see it. The colors were blue and white.
If you mean your socks, you have one green one and one blue one.
The license plate. Blue letters on a white background. The first number was 314. 314,000.
McGee, you have a wild look in your eye, and I don't like it.
It began with 314. After 30 years, I can still remember. 3146. No, 3145. 5, that's it. 31457. One more number and I got it.
McGee, this whole memory course is useless if you're just going to remember silly things like an old license number.
31457. Memory course? What memory course?
Heavenly days, don't you even remember you're taking it?
When I concentrate on something, I forget everything else. It couldn't be important anyway. Now, let me think. 31457. Dad-brat it, I'm going to remember that other number if it's the last thing I ever do. 314...
Don't turn that dial. This is the right station if you want to hear about Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. Ding dong ding, the bells do ring. We're bringing you news of the latest thing that has happened up on the moon. And we hurried to bring it quicker than soon, for we knew you'd be worried, and that's why we hurried in from the icy snows to tell you some more how the story goes. Now, of course, you remember little Jonathan Thomas, who has lived 6 years and never once broke a promise. And you remember the squee-bobbles who broke all the laws and kidnapped poor old Santa Claus? And how Jonathan Thomas and the Man in the Moon and well, of course, Gorgonzola the horse set out real soon, and they had to because, well, they've just got to rescue old Santa Claus. Well, never you mind. They'll find him yet. Oh, but we mustn't forget that wicked old witch of Rumpelstitch, and how in the nightmare forest so deep, little Jonathan Thomas has fallen asleep. And he wasn't supposed to do that at all, and he wouldn't if he hadn't happened to fall right off the back of the horse. But now, of course, Whiskery Bill, he's a squirrel, he tried to see if there could possibly be a charm to break the spell which the wicked old witch had woven so well. And how he found out, only goodness knows, but it turned out to be a red, red rose. So now, while Jonathan Thomas lies fast asleep and all of his friends stand round and weep, why, Whiskery Bill is way over the hill and going to the rainbow's end. For everyone knows that the brambly rose didn't have any color of red, so she told him to go through the ice and the snow for rainbow rubies, her colors to mend, and so there he goes as fast as the wind that blows. And now, before you can count up to 10, here's where the story begins again.
Double trouble, boil and bubble, and brew my magic well, for I'm in fine fettle, oh, faithful kettle, when things to me you tell.
Oh, please, Mrs. Witch,
What happened to Whiskery, Bill? You didn't hurt him, did you?
That's not the story, and you needn't worry about poor Whiskery Bill. Although my magic is quite tragic, it is not brewed to kill. And if you think me quite the liar, then come here closer to the fire and gaze into the bubbling brew and tell me what appeals to you.
Oh, I can see him. I can see poor Whiskery Bill. And, oh, look, Mrs. Witch. He must not be feeling very well because he's crying.
Uh-huh, but he's not dying.
Oh, please don't hurt Whiskery Bill, Mrs. Witch, because he's such a nice little squirrel.
Keep watching, please, oh Jonathan Thomas, and you'll see how well I keep my promise. For I've cast my spell very well, because you shall not rescue Santa Claus. And if into my brew you'll gaze, you'll see how quickly pass the days, until I alone will have much cheer. For Christmas shall not come this year.
You're not very nice.
I should know that well. You've said it twice. But keep on gazing long until you see what happens to Whiskery Bill. What happens to Whiskery Bill?
Oh, my goodness, how I've run. I've run until I'm almost done. And I'll just bet there's no other one beneath the sun that's ever run as fast as I have done. Oh, my goodness, the time has come, the time has come.
I say, old boy, what did you say?
I said that...
Well, speak up. Did I hear you correctly or didn't I?
Jiminy Crickets and Chief Willikers. What are you trying to do anyway? Scare me out of 20 years' growth? Who are you?
The question, my little pipsqueak, isn't who am I, but who are you? And you'd better tell me very true. That is, if you know what's good for you.
I already know what's good for me. A lot better than you do, so bah!
Well, and bless me. It's very plain to see that you're not very polite, but quite smart alecky. And what I think would be good for you is to be taken down a peg or two.
You just mind your own business, old Whisker's face.
Remember your place.
Oh, you hush your fuss and get out of my way.
Well, Lord Bodkins, and by Jove, I say.
Yes, and what's the big idea in stopping me anyway?
Because it were my very words I heard you say.
Oh, nonsense and rubbish and fiddlesticks.
As plain as day I heard you say, the time has come, and by my hat, you can't do that, you know.
Oh, is that so?
Don't you know that I'm the Walrus?
So what if you are, you old fish face? Besides, I gotta run.
Well, by my hat, I'm most glad of that. But don't you say the time has come for me to run, for that's my line, from a very old rhyme. Of course, you might say, has come the time, or perhaps, time the has come, or some such other one.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Are you the one who said, the time has come, the Walrus said, to speak of many things, of shoes and ships and candle wax and cabbages?
Sealing wax, not candle wax, you blasted whippersnackel.
Well, wax is wax, isn't it? The same as pigs is pigs.
Oh, I suppose so.
But excuse me now, I've got to go.
Well, now, I'd like to know why you have got to hurry so. To be quite nice, you know, I've strived. So why should you leave when you've just arrived?
Because I have to go to see the Keeper of the Rainbow.
Well, bless my soul, and what do you know?
I know a lot of things, which is more than you do.
Blimey, that's not very nice of you.
Well...
Pish and tush, what's the rush? Why not stop for a cup of tea?
Because, that's why. If I do, he'll die, and then what'll they think of me?
Well, crumpets on a griddle, what is this riddle? And what are these things you say? Who is he? And odd Bodkins? Who are these people that you call they?
It's all the doings of that wicked old witch.
Aha! I smell a mice. For whatever she does is never very nice.
She cast a spell on a very good friend and put him fast asleep.
My word and by Jove, it fairly makes my flesh creep.
And there's only one way to wake him up, and that's the red rose.
And where in the world can you get one of those?
At the rainbow's end.
Well, instead of going, why don't you send?
It's not the rose I'm going for, it's the color. 'Cause a brambly bush can grow white roses, but she can't grow any red.
Oh, now I see. I'm getting it through me head.
And I've just got to go because it's for poor little Jonathan Thomas.
Righto, and of course you've got to keep your promise. Wait a minute. I've got a thought.
What?
If you go alone, you're apt to be caught.
Who's going to catch me?
Why, the Jabberwocky, of course.
The Jabberwocky? What's that?
The Jabberwocky, a most vicious bird who simply adores little squirrels, or at least so I've heard.
Oh, for goodness sake.
So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just chuck it all and go with you. Whop, whop, whop. Before we get set, do you realize we've never met?
Well, my name is Whiskery Bill.
You don't say. Why, now, that name's as tasty as an apple. And, now, my name, Sir Algernon Q. Whipplesnapple.
Sir Algernon Q. Whipplesnapple, how do you do?
Ho, ho, ho. I was going to say that to you.
Well, come on, Sir Algy. We've got to go.
You said it, Whiskey, and right-o.
Together we should ought to find the color red.
Of course we should. That's what I said. And by Jove, we'll show that witch a thing or two. In fact, we shan't come back until we do. Come on, Whiskers. Let's get out of here.
And there will be a Christmas after all this year. Here we go to the rainbow to find a ruby red, to fix the witch of Rumpelstiltskin and drive her out of her head.
So, hippity skip, hip hip, and off and away we go. We'll never stop our hippity up till we reach the long rainbow. Here we go to the rainbow to find a ruby red, to fix the witch of Rumpelstiltskin and drive her out of her head.
Well, now, I guess we're beginning to get somewhere. What with Whiskery Bill and the Walrus going together to find the red rose, and I'll bet they get it, too. Well, now they've just got to, haven't they? Or else how can they wake up Jonathan Thomas in time to rescue Santa Claus for Christmas? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Maybe in the next story of Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. I'll be listening, won't you?